Hey guys, tonight we are heading home. Not to your home now with its soft lighting and reliable Wi-Fi, but to a different kind of home. A small, solid cottage of stone and timber, nestled in a dim, misty valley, sometime in let's say the late 1600s. The roof is thick with straw, and a thin, steady curl of wood smoke rises from the chimney. It looks impossibly cozy, a picture from a storybook. Of course, given the complete lack of plumbing, the 4 a.m. rooster, and the fact that your mattress is full of straw, you probably wouldn't survive this for a week. But it's a lovely, lovely place to visit in our imaginations. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And in the comments, let me know where you're listening from tonight and what time it is for you. It's always nice to see where everyone is settling in. Now, dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You wake up not to an alarm, but to a quality of stillness. The air in the cottage is cold, sharp in your lungs. You pull the rough woolen blanket tighter. It smells faintly of wood smoke, dried herbs, and lanolin. You're on a simple mattress stuffed with straw, which rustles quietly as you shift. You can feel the lumps and bumps, but it's a familiar feeling. In the darkness, you can hear the soft, rhythmic breathing of your family nearby. The rhythm of the house. Everyone sleeps in this one main room, a communal huddle against the deep chill of the night. You are not alone in more ways than one. You can hear the faint snuffle and the heavy stamp of the milk cow, just on the other side of a thin wooden partition. A live-in, four-legged hot water bottle. You're awake before the sun. The only light comes from the glowing, fading embers in the central hearth, buried under a small mound of ash. You don't want to leave the warmth of the blankets. Your hands are already rough from yesterday's work, the skin tight over the knuckles. You know the floor will be cold. It's not wood, it's just packed earth, beaten flat by years of footsteps. And it will be gritty under your bare feet. You look toward the small, square opening in the wall that serves as a window. It's covered by a thick wooden shutter, battened tight against the night air. No glass here. Glass is for churches and manor houses. For you, it's either a breeze or the dark. And at night, you always choose the dark. Finally, you swing your legs out. The floor is exactly as cold as you expected. You pad softly, your feet silent on the hard earth, moving toward the hearth. This is your first job, the most important job of the day. The fire cannot, must not go out. You carefully uncover the embers you buried in the ash last night, a clever way to keep them alive. You add a few dry twigs, some brittle kindling, and a chunk of dried peat. You get down low and blow gently. Once, twice, and a small, hesitant flame flickers to life, orange and precious. Relief. The fire is the heart of this home. It is your heat. It is your light. And in a few moments, it will be your kitchen. You reach for a rushlight. It's just a dried reed, pulled from the riverbank, dipped time and time again in leftover kitchen fat. You touch it to the new flame and it sputters, catching with a greasy, smoky light. It smells a bit like old bacon. It won't be bright, just a tiny flickering glow, but it's enough. With this tiny light, the room takes shape. You can see the heavy, curved timber beams of the cruck frame that holds up the roof. They are dark, almost black, coated in a sticky layer of soot from decades of open fires. There's only one heavy table, a few low three-legged stools, and a large wooden chest that holds all the family's linens and best clothes. Above the hearth, carved into the thick wooden mantel beam, are a series of circles and V marks, scratched deep into the wood. Some historians believe these are just decorations, idle carvings. But others are quite sure they are witch marks, little symbols of protection, meant to stop any mischievous spirits or bad luck from coming down the wide chimney. You run your finger over one. It feels smooth, worn down by generations. You don't know what you believe, but in the pre-dawn quiet, it feels safe. The cottage is beginning to wake up. The smell of the new fire mixes with the scent of simmering porridge, a simple, oaty warmth you're adding water to in a heavy iron pot. Your hands are already busy. Perhaps you are at the butter churn, the thunk, thunk, thunk of the wooden dash moving up and down, a steady, sleepy rhythm that you could do with your eyes closed. It's a task that takes forever, turning cream into thick, yellow butter. Or perhaps you're outside, throwing feed to the chickens, their small, querulous noises a sharp contrast to the morning quiet. You go to the stream with 2 heavy wooden buckets to fetch the day's water. It is icy cold, and it sloshes against your legs as you walk back, the path muddy and slick. Your hands burn from the chill. The cozy part of this cottage is not a given. It is something you have to make every single day. From the low rafters above your head, bundles of dried herbs hang down: rosemary, thyme, sage, and mint. They smell wonderful, a sharp, earthy green that cuts through the smoke. They are for cooking, yes, and for medicine. But they are also here to make the air sweeter. Life in a small space, with animals and smoke and damp wool, is not always fragrant. You glance outside. The sun is just starting to pierce the morning mist, which hangs heavy in your small valley. The garden patch out back is a protected tangle of herbs, greens, and of course, mud. Great. Another day of mud. But this mud grows the food. This water makes the stew. This work keeps the fire lit. This is the rhythm of life, and you are a part of it. It's a hard life, there's no doubt. Historians still debate just how hard. Was it a life of constant grinding misery, or was it just life? A life with its own rewards, its own deep comforts. You don't have time for such questions. You just have the next task. The cow to milk, the floor to sweep, the linen to mend. Your hands are rough, but they are capable, and the rhythm of the work is steady. It carries you through the day. The light outside begins to fail, and the world shrinks once again to the golden, flickering circle of the firelight. This is the best part of the day. The work is done. The animals are quiet. The heavy plank door is barred, shutting out the cold and the dark. The cottage, which was a place of constant work all day, now becomes a true sanctuary. You are gathered around the hearth, the only real source of light. The rushlight sputters in its iron holder, casting tall, dancing shadows on the wattle and daub walls. Your father might be mending a tool, the sound of a knife shaving wood, a soft, scraping sound. Your mother might be spinning wool, the whir of the spindle a sleepy, constant hum in the quiet room. There might be a story told, a familiar tale passed down, or a quiet, reedy song, or just the sound of the wind whistling outside the thick stone walls and the crackle and pop of the fire. The stew is warm, simple and filling, eaten with a wooden spoon from a wooden bowl. You feel a deep, bone-weary tiredness, the kind that settles right into your muscles, the kind that only comes from a day of using your body. There is no bright screen to look at, no blue light to keep your mind racing with 1,000 thoughts. There is only the fire. The word curfew, you know, actually comes from the old French phrase couvre-feu, to cover the fire. It was the signal, the bell that rang in the village to bank the embers for the night. It was the signal to let the day officially, finally end. And that is what you do. The flames are dampened, the precious embers buried again in the ash, and the cottage settles into a deep, profound darkness. We often wonder if they were happy, these people from the past. Some historians argue their lives were too hard, too short, too full of toil for what we would call happiness. But as you settle back into your straw mattress, pulling the heavy wool blanket up to your chin, you feel a sense, not of happiness, perhaps, but of rightness, of being exactly where you are supposed to be, safe inside your solid stone walls, sheltered from the wind, the rhythm of life, slowing to a gentle stop. And now, your own journey for tonight is ending. The little cottage with its smoke and its shadows, its cold floors and its warm fire, begins to fade away. The feeling of the rough blanket, the smell of the wood smoke, the thunk-thunk of the churn, it all dissolves back into the mist. You are left only with comfort, the feeling of being secure, sheltered, and deeply, deeply tired. The past is a different country, but sleep is a language we all share. It's the same profound rest they sought under that thick straw roof. You can let go of your day now. Let go of all the tasks, the worries, the lists. There is nothing left to do. Nothing at all, but rest. Your eyelids are heavy, so heavy. Just let them close.